Have you ever sat alone in a quiet room, looked around, and felt something was missing? Not something big, but something small and warm, maybe with her legs and a wagging tail or a gentle purr. You're not alone. As we grow older, our homes get quieter. The kids grow up and move out. The routine slowed down, and those lively dinner tables or bustling mornings become still. And while stillness can be peaceful, sometimes it can feel a little too quiet. Now, I want you to imagine this. You open your eyes in the morning, and before your feet even touch the ground, there's someone already waiting for you. Tail wagging, eyes sparkling, completely thrilled just because you're awake. Or maybe, as you sip your tea by the window, a soft little creature curls up in your lap, purring away, making you feel like the most important person in the world. That's not just sweet sentiment. It's medicine for the soul, and it might just be medicine for your body too. Today, we're going to talk about how pets can actually help you live longer, feel better, and bring back a sense of joy and purpose you didn't even know was missing. It's not just about cute faces and furry cuddles. Though, let's be honest, those are pretty great. It's about what happens to your body, your heart, and your mind when you share your life with an animal. Let's start with something you can probably feel in your bones. Movement. You know, as we get older, staying active becomes more important than ever. But going to the gym, that's not for everyone. And walking around the block alone, that can feel like a chore. But if you got a dog, suddenly it's not just a walk, it's an adventure. It's a reason to put on your shoes and step outside, even when the weather's a bit dreary or your joints are a little stiff. That gentle tug on the leash reminds you that movement isn't just good for you, it's something to look forward to. And that consistent daily activity, even if it's just a stroll down the street or tossing a ball in the backyard, keeps your heart healthy, your joints moving, and your spirits lifted. And it's not just dogs. Even cats, with their more laid-back vibe, bring movement into your day in their own way. You bend to feed them, clean their litter box, toss a toy, or just reach out to scratch that soft spot behind their ears. These little motions may not feel like exercise, but they get you up, get your blood flowing, and keep you engaged. And more importantly, they keep you from sinking into long stretches of stillness, which can creep up quietly and take a toll on your energy and mood. Now, beyond the physical movement, there's something even more powerful at play here. It's that deep, quiet bond you form, the kind that doesn't even need words. Pets don't care if you forget what day it is. They don't judge you if your hair's a mess or if you take a little longer getting up in the morning. They're just there, present, loving, loyal, and that unconditional love, it does wonders for your heart, both the emotional kind and the physical one. There's something almost magical about coming home to someone who's just as happy to see you whether you've been gone 5 minutes or 5 hours. That feeling of being needed, of being someone's whole world, it gives you a reason to get up each day with purpose. You're not just living for yourself anymore. You've got a little soul depending on you, and that gives your days rhythm and meaning. And let's talk about stress, because we all know it doesn't retire when we do. Worries about health, finances, loneliness, they can add up. But did you know that spending just a few minutes petting a dog or a cat can lower your blood pressure and slow your heart rate? It's true. The simple act of stroking soft fur or listening to that steady purr actually tells your brain to release calming chemicals like serotonin and oxytocin. These are the same hormones that flow when we hug a loved one or laugh with a friend. It's your body's natural way of saying, hey, it's okay. You're safe. You're loved. And the beauty of it is, pets don't ask for much. A bowl of food, a warm place to sleep, a little love, and they give back 10 times what they take. They don't hold grudges. They don't interrupt. They just sit with you, quietly, like a living, breathing reminder that you matter, that you are enough. I've known people who, after losing a spouse or moving to a new place, felt like they had nothing left to give, but then they adopted a pet, and slowly, life started to return. Not all at once, but one wag, one purr, one playful nudge at a time. That empty space in the house, it started to feel full again, full of laughter, full of routine, full of life. Now that's just the beginning. There's more to this story. More reasons why pets are one of the best choices you can make for your health and happiness after 60. But even just these moments, those small acts of connection and care, can be the spark that lights up an entire day. Let's keep going from here and talk about how those bonds deepen and how pets do something even more powerful. They keep our hearts open, our minds active, and our lives rich with meaning. There's something truly special that happens when you share your life with a pet. It's not just about staying active or having company. It's about connection, a kind of quiet companionship that speaks louder than words ever could. And here's the beautiful part. That connection isn't just good for the heart emotionally. It actually keeps your brain healthier, too. You see, when you care for another living being, your mind stays sharp in ways you might not even realize. Remembering feeding schedules, noticing small changes in behavior, playing together, talking to them throughout the day. It all keeps your mind engaged and attentive. You might laugh at yourself for chatting with your dog or cat, but don't stop. That kind of interaction, even if it seems one-sided, lights up parts of your brain that keep your memory, language, and focus strong. And the more consistently you interact, the more your brain benefits. It's a beautiful cycle of love and learning that keeps you mentally alert without ever feeling like homework. Some studies have even shown that pet owners, especially seniors, tend to show slower cognitive decline over time compared to those who live alone without pets. Why? Because pets bring routine, stimulation, and a sense of engagement that breaks up the stillness of each day. They pull you into the present moment. They remind you to look around, to notice, to respond. And those tiny daily challenges. Did I feed her already? Why is he scratching more today? Should I take him to the vet? Those moments are keeping your brain young and responsive. And it's not just your own mind that stays active. Having a pet often sparks more human interaction, too. Maybe you're walking your dog and someone stops to say, "What a sweet face." And just like that, you're in a conversation you didn't expect. Or you meet another cat lover at the vet, and you swap stories about the funny things your pets do. These small interactions might not seem like much, but over time, they help reduce feelings of isolation and build a sense of community. And community, even in its smallest forms, plays a huge role in how long and how well we live. Some folks even join pet groups online or in person, local dog walking groups, pet adoption meetups, volunteer days at shelters. These are more than hobbies, they're lifelines. They bring people together who might otherwise never cross paths, united by the simple joy of loving animals. And let's not forget what pets teach us about living in the moment. Have you ever watched a dog just throw himself into grass on a sunny day, rolling around like it's the best moment of his life? Or a cat chasing a beam of sunlight, like it's a prize she's been waiting all day for? They don't worry about tomorrow. They don't regret yesterday. They're just here, fully, and that's something we can all learn from. In a world where we often find ourselves caught between memories of the past and worries about the future, pets gently pull us back to now, this moment, this breath, this cuddle. And when you really start to notice that, it changes you, it softens you, it helps you heal. Even grief feels different when you have a pet. Because while pets can never replace the people we've loved and lost, they do help patch the holes. They give us someone to care for when it feels like there's no one else. They make holidays a little less lonely, mornings a little brighter, and long evenings feel less empty. And they help us express love, which is one of the most powerful acts of healing there is. It's not all sunshine and roses, of course. There are vet visits and messes and early morning wake-ups. But those little challenges, they keep you grounded. They remind you that you're still in the game, still needed, still important. That your actions make a difference every single day. And here's another quiet benefit most people don't think about. Responsibility. After retirement, when you don't have to do anything, it's easy to drift. Days blend together. Purpose can start to fade. But when you have a pet, you've got a job again. And it's a good one. You're the protector, the caregiver, the provider of treats and belly rubs. That sense of responsibility keeps your schedule anchored and gives each day a reason to begin. Many people who adopt pets later in life say things like, "She saved me," or "He gave me something to live for again." And while that might sound dramatic to someone who's never loved a pet, those of us who have, we know It's not an exaggeration. It's the truth. You don't have to climb mountains or run marathons to feel young again. Sometimes, all it takes is a soft pair of eyes looking up at you like you're their whole world. Or a gentle paw reaching out for your hand when you're having a tough day. Or the sound of tiny footsteps running to greet you when you walk through the door. That's the kind of joy that keeps your heart open and your life full. And if you're worried about the future, about what happens to a pet if your health changes, that's completely understandable. But the good news is there are options. You can choose older pets who are already calm and low maintenance. You can talk to family or friends about backup care plans. Some organizations even offer senior-to-senior pet adoption programs, where both the pet and the person are in a similar stage of life, ready to just enjoy each other. The important thing is not to let fear stop you from receiving love, because love, no matter where it comes from, is the secret ingredient to a longer, happier life. Let's continue from here and explore how pets help us stay emotionally balanced, and how their presence can be a powerful form of healing, even when life gets hard. You know, as we grow older, one of the things we come to understand more deeply is that emotional wellness is just as important as physical health. And sometimes, even more so, it's those quiet moments when a house feels too still, or when the phone hasn't rung in days, that the heart begins to feel the weight of time. But that's exactly where a pet can step in, not to fill every empty space, but to help carry the silence with you. Because pets don't need explanations. They don't judge. They don't interrupt. They simply sit with you in the moment. Whether you're happy, tired, anxious, or grieving, they're there. And that kind of steady, unconditional presence can be profoundly healing. It's not magic, but it often feels like it is. Emotional balance in our later years often hinges on feeling safe, connected, and loved. When you stroke a cat's back and hear her purr, or when your dog nudges your hand because he knows you're feeling down, you're reminded that you're not alone. You're seen. You matter. And that emotional grounding, the ability to regulate sadness, stress, or even anger, is what helps protect your body from chronic illnesses that thrive on emotional strain. It might surprise you to know that pet owners often experience lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. And lower cortisol means a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, even memory problems. So while it might seem like a simple cuddle on the couch, that small act is doing powerful things behind the scenes. Your body is listening to the love you're receiving, and it's responding by relaxing, healing, restoring. And there's more. Taking care of a pet brings structure to your days. You wake up because someone's waiting for breakfast. You take walks not because you have to, but because someone's tail is wagging at the door, ready to explore. You go outside more, get fresh air, stretch your legs. You move, and every bit of that movement counts. Not just for your muscles or your heart, but for your mind. Movement clears the fog, lifts the mood, and gives you a sense of progress, however small. But perhaps the most beautiful thing pets do for us, especially after 60, is remind us that we're still capable of deep, meaningful love. Because here's the truth. After a certain age, many of us stop reaching out. Maybe we've lost people. Maybe we've been hurt. Maybe we've just grown tired. And love begins to feel like something that was part of another chapter, long closed. But love doesn't expire. It just changes shape. And often, a pet is the one who reawakens that part of us that still wants to give, still wants to connect, still wants to feel. There's something so tender about a senior adopting a senior pet. Two souls, both in the later seasons of life, deciding to walk it together. No rush, no expectations, just quiet companionship, warm afternoons, and the comfort of knowing someone is there. It's not about the number of years ahead. It's about the quality of the days left, and how we choose to spend them. Even when the time eventually comes to say goodbye to a beloved pet, that chapter, however hard, is one full of meaning. The grief is real, yes, but so is the joy that came before it. And the truth is, having known that kind of bond, even briefly, is worth the tears. Because love, true, honest, no-strings-attached love, is what makes life full. And pets offer that kind of love freely and daily. Some people hesitate because they think getting a pet now is too late. But it's never too late for joy. It's never too late to smile when you see a fluffy face or hear a cheerful bark or feel a tiny warm body curl up beside you. That joy doesn't ask how old you are. It just shows up and invites you to join it. You don't need to adopt a high-energy puppy or fancy breed. There are so many older animals in shelters who are calm, trained, and just waiting for someone to love. Just like people, senior pets have so much to offer: wisdom, gentleness, peace. It's often a perfect match. So if you've been on the fence about bringing a pet into your life, maybe take this as your sign. Visit your local shelter. Talk to others who've done it. Or just spend a little time with a friend's dog or cat and notice how it makes you feel. No pressure, just curiosity. Because the goal here isn't to add chaos to your life. It's to add connection, to add laughter, to add meaning. And in return, you might just add years. Not just to your life, but to your happiness. Aging doesn't have to mean fading away. It can mean blooming into something new. It can mean finding comfort, laughter, and love in places you never expected. And sometimes that love comes with whiskers. So take your time. Listen to your heart. But don't close the door on joy just because you think it's too late. Sometimes the best companions come when we least expect them. And they don't just walk into your home. They walk into your heart. You know, there's a certain quiet dignity in deciding to open your heart again, especially later in life. It's not always easy. We've all faced losses, transitions, the letting go of what once was. But the beautiful thing about aging is that it can also be a time of returning to what really matters: connection, purpose, presence. A pet doesn't fix everything. It doesn't take away pain or erase the hard parts, but it can soften them. It can add color to gray days. It can fill a room not just with sound, but with life. And sometimes that's all we need to start feeling like ourselves again. There's a woman I met a few years ago. Her name is Ellen, widowed at 67, living alone in a small town and quietly enduring the kind of loneliness that can't always be explained. Her children lived out of state. Her friends were dwindling one by one, and her days felt long and quiet, filled mostly with memories. Then one afternoon, she decided to visit the local animal shelter. She didn't plan to adopt, just visit, she told herself. But there was this little dog, old, graying and with a limp, not the kind people usually choose first. But he looked up at her and something clicked. That same day, she brought him home. She named him Benny, and what followed wasn't dramatic or life-changing in a Hollywood kind of way, but it was life-giving. Morning walks, little routines, a bark at the door when the mail came, a reason to get out of bed, to cook again, to smile. When I saw her again a year later, she looked 10 years younger, not because her wrinkles were gone, but because her spirit was lighter. She said, "Benny didn't just give me company. He gave me back to myself." That's the power of love. Quiet, loyal, everyday love. If you're watching this and you're feeling unsure, if you're wondering whether now is the right time or whether it's really worth it, I want to say this to you gently. You deserve joy. You deserve affection, companionship, laughter. You deserve mornings that start with a wagging tail or a warm nudge. You deserve evenings where someone curls up beside you simply because you're there. And if a pet feels like too much right now, that's okay too. You can still experience the benefits of animal connection without a full-time commitment. Maybe volunteer at a shelter once a week. Visit a pet cafe. Offer to walk a neighbor's dog. Even brief interactions can lift your mood, calm your nerves, and create those beautiful little moments of connection. Life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about choosing what matters most. It's about curating your days with care, with intention, and with love. And sometimes that means welcoming a four-legged friend into your home and saying yes to the kind of joy that doesn't ask questions. It just shows up and stays. So if you felt your days growing quieter than you like, if your heart aches for connection but you're not sure where to begin, maybe consider this: a soft purr, a playful bark, a pair of eyes that light up every time you enter the room. It's not about rescuing an animal. It's about discovering that sometimes they rescue us too. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If anything you've heard here resonated with you, or if you've had your own life touched by a furry friend, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Your words might just inspire someone else to take that first step. And if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. We're building a community here, a place where aging isn't about limits, but about possibilities, about living fully, richly, and joyfully at every age. Here's to the laughter, the walks, the warm snuggles on a rainy day. Here's to the simple moments that add up to something beautiful. And here's to you, living your best life one paw print at a time. Until next time, take care of your heart. And maybe, just maybe, make a little room beside it for someone with fur.